years, but that is worth 16 points. Six is not. Toss-up 2 of players. This man resigned one position after losing a game of golf to David Lloyd George at the 1922 Cannes Conference. In the 1929 speech to the League of Nations, this man proposed the creation of a federal union of European countries. And this man, Gustav Stresemann, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1926 for his work negotiating the Locarno treaties. For the points, name this man who served as the Prime Minister of France for 11 years. Incorrect. I'll continue. It's -2. Name this man who served as Prime Minister of France for 11 terms and signed a treaty which ostensibly banned war with Frank B. Kellogg. Nope, just -1. It's the second. I can have one more answer. -1's question. 3. Nope, I was looking for Aristotle Briand. -1, -1, shocking. Right, it's very early in the game. We are going to number 3. Student score checks after 5. 3. This politician earned the grass crown after besieging Nola. This leader instituted the Lex Cordelia Majestatis to remove rivals, and he gained his biggest rival after being chosen to campaign against Grenades. This man claims to have. That is correct for 5 points. This ruler's name means earth-shaker, or he who overturns space and time. After defeating the Chetniks, this leader reorganized his empire into 4 quarters or 1. That is correct for 6 points. Toss-up 5. In the Aragonautica, Jason and Medea seek out this person in order to be purified for the murder of Avistris. After being spurned by Glaucus, this person transforms Scylla into a monster, and Elpenor died after drunkenly falling off the roof of this person's home on the island of IAC. Great. Again? Incorrect. I'll continue. -2, Jack. Circe is correct for 5. That's fine. But in order to move around moving, you are not going to tell everyone. I appreciate it. I did fail to mention in the final round, you actually have to get 40 points to be out. Not there. Okay, so our aim is as much as we can, but 40 points is the one that gets you out. Okay? Sorry. All right. Okay. We have Jack -3, Sebastian -1, Andrew 17, Hannah 3, and everyone else gets a score. Okay, well done. Toss-up 6. This ruler's grandfather, Egbert, defeated the combined Cornish and Danish force at Kingston Down. Incorrect, I'll continue. And according to one legend, this ruler was scolded by Alfred is who I was looking for, and that's always an Albert, say Albert, and apologies, cannot protest what was for me, so I heard Albert, that's my ruling, and over here that was 4. 6 points. Oh, 6 points. What's like stuff? Oh, yeah. And 7. A government in this country was removed from power by Philip Gang. Eric Campbell led this country's fastest New Guard, which opposed Jack Lang, and one of its members, named Francis de Groot, attempted to cut a ribbon for a bridge opening. This country was led by Robert Menzies. That is correct for 5 points. Toss up 8. Joseph Klein wrote a memoir of this event titled When the Heavens Frown, in which he controversially claimed that a certain type of defect was unnecessary. Henry Robert, who wrote Robert's Rules of Order, built a structure to prevent this event happening again. Over 8,000 people died in this meteorological this meteorological event, which crushed the Wall Street of the Southwest. Answer? That is the second. That is to jump. I will continue. For the points named as deadliest hurricane in American history. Incorrect. Not done all the way. So I was looking for Galveston, 1900 hurricane. All right. Toss-up number 9. This man appointed George Malcolm to the Supreme Court and collaborated with Paul Reed during World War II. This man was his country's non-voting resident commissioner in the U.S. House of Representatives from 1909 to 1916, and this man authorized a $500,000 check to Fort Douglas MacArthur from his country's coffers shortly before fleeing on a submarine. Incorrect. I'll continue. It's $2. For the points, identify this man. That is correct. For 4 points, plus 4 to jump. 10, that is for a check. A 1993 revision of this program requires states to implement policies designed to recover expenditures from estates of deceased beneficiaries. That is correct for 6 points. 16. And is for that. It's about next one. Time 4 on 3. Softball -2, Harrison 0, Bay 0, Jack -1, Michi -2. I am question about the going. Transformers. Confusing this. Also, before we continue, we do have awards for everyone in this group. We'll go and Victor. So we have the very correct. Alright, toss-up number 11. This organization's founding was influenced by Dmitry Utkin of Drew Spetsnaz and drew its name from his call sign. This organization offered to help the Asian government combat gang violence, and the Chechen Patriots attempted to attack this organization in Rostov. Everybody? Yes. That is for 5 points. 12. 12. The Olympian gods feast in this place in Milton when Thetis seeks an audience with Zeus. A princess of this place named Andromeda was nearly sacrificed right now. Is correct, except for 5. Select original. 8. Right. Toss up 13. All players hands on buzzers. This author remarked, "Hail, happy saint on thine immortal throne," to open a poem centering on the death of the minister George Whitefield. This poet. That is correct for 6 points. 14. In a Sri Lankan tradition, this ruler executed numerous monks before the Upasaka ceremony was not held for 7 years. The ancient stupa of Sanchi was commissioned by this monarch, who earlier hired the executioner Chandra Birka to staff a prison dubbed this man's namesake. is correct for 6 points. Plus 6 points. One word. 15 and another score check. This agreement included a provision for moving mail and that's what I need for 5. 5 to bed. 62. Out of 4, bag 5, John 8, Rishi 9, Sebastian 10, Kendrick 15, Harrison 0, Prana 3, and Salsa 2. Okay. Halfway through, you're doing great. Toss-up 16. Though not Pamplona, this city has historically hosted the Toro de la Vega festival, in which a bull is chased by hundreds of lancers. A treaty signed in this city in the province of Valladolid would later be ratified in Senegal and resulted in the establishment of a meridian off the coast of Quebec. It's correct for 5 points. That's chess. 17. This man converted a white man, Ephraim T. Brantley, after telling him to cease from his wickedness, and this man's enslaved followers referred to him as the prophet. Novelist William Styron won a 1968 Pulitzer Prize for his first-person account detailing the event. That is correct for 5 points. Jack Heard. Plus 5 discussion. 18. This philosopher rejected Dostoevsky's idea that if God is dead, everything is permitted, arguing that without God, humans would be totally responsible for their actions. This woman analyzed the serious man and the Nicholas, and the adventurer wrote that man's freedom can only be achieved through the freedom of others. In her work, The Ethics of Ambiguity, to the point, his name is French philosopher and confidant of Jean-Paul Sartre, who wrote seminal feminist texts. Nope. She's in this too. Feminist text, The Second Sex. Time. Gentleman, Simone de Beauvoir. 19. Due to one of these events during the Cultural Revolution, Deng Fang became a paraplegic. One of these events in a certain city led to the heart attack of King Wenceslas IV and the start of the Hussite Wars. Later, one of these events in that same city sparked the 30 Years' War when it happened to Ventry. That is correct for 5. Plus 5 is 5. 20. This man ordered an assassination attempt against Venezuelan President Robo. That is for 6 points. Plus 6 to natural. Torture. Work. She 7, Scott 20, Andrew 15, Harrison 6, and Sasha Watman's 3. Since we are giving them flags for first group A, we will have all tiebreakers will be figured out before we go on. Alright. Well, we can clap every time. We're all staying safe. 21. This company's founder was originally the head of Coreware at LSI Logic, and its earliest name was Primal Graphics, which included abbreviations. That is correct for 6 points. 22. Cardinal Reginald Cole and Giovanni Del Monte, later became Pope Louis III, served as papal legates during this gathering. This assembly, convened by Pope Paul III, confirmed transubstantiation, and the 7th prompt. Yes. That is for Did I say just one? Did I say and seven? Sure. That was it? Right. And that's what it's. What's this? 23. In a Clifford Berryman cartoon, this law is labeled a tonic, while Pat Garrison and John Vance Garner are looking on as alternate doctors. This law's second namesake was represented from Oregon, while its first namesake also served as one of the 12 apostles of the Mormon Church, while also serving as a senator from Utah. This law was largely reversed by the 1934 reciprocal trade agreement. That is correct. 5 points. That's kind of high. 24. This leader allowed Catherine Carl to paint her portrait for the St. Louis World's Fair at the request of the wife of Ambassador Edwin Palmer. This ruler ended the 100 Days Reform by executing a and that is for 6. Plus 6. Here's 25. This man theorized that Nile's source was Lake Bangwe, that was actually discovered Lake Malala. No, it's too to intro. Livingstone for 6. Plus 6 to retain. We get all of these things. We have 20, chapter 19, Rishi and Andrew both 13, Harrison 12, May 11, Adam 9, Chrono 3, and Sashwa -2. Well, I was going to welcome. 26. We will do a short check after 29. Right. 26. This man arranged the acquittal of former First Minister Robert Harley after initially endorsing his impeachment. A Tory government accused this Whig of venality and corruption and imprisoned him in the Tower of London for 6 months. This man sorted out the South Sea bubble for 5 points as correct. Plus 5 iteration. 27. An election in this year saw 2 Supreme Court justices run for president, including David Davis on the Reform Labor ticket. In this election, the Liberal Republican Party permanently split from the Republicans. 6. No. That election in this year saw Susan B. Anthony fined $100. 1872 is correct. 5 points. 5 to 7. 28. At his execution, this man declared, "I shall be remembered forever. You all will soon be forgotten." After a series of initial successes, this man's army was ultimately defeated at the Battle of Calderon Bridge. The overthrow of Jose de Iriturbe, you can sit there, inspired this man to give a speech on September 16th in support of Ferdinand VII over a group of Spaniards. That speech by this man is thought to have begun the independence movement in Mexico. For the points that this is correct. For 4. Let's score to enter. Yes, Miguel Hidalgo. He has the answer right. The Christmas Resignation to Need, Christian Sebastian 18, Andrew 17, Harrison 12, Adam and Bailey 9, and Mona and Sasha 2 more toss-ups to go. Oh, sorry. 2 more toss-ups to go. Just prove it. 29. This man issued an unauthorized emancipation edict after he was given command of the Department of the West, although it was later revoked after pressure from Abraham Lincoln. Kit Carson served alongside this man. Is correct. For 6 points. Okay, one more. Okay. We have Jack at 25, Rishi and House 19, Andrew 17, Harrison 12, Adam and Faye at 9, and Hannah and South 1. They will present the report, we'll give plastic pictures, and right. If we have to break any time, yes. I don't see this for there. But again, we're down that. Well done. Again, one more toss up. Then you can toss up 30. This site's conical tower stands 30 feet high within its western enclosure. Soapstone work. That's for 6 points.
Did he win? I did put 24 and there was 6. I have it at 24.
Right. Bring the pipe list. Okay. That's this one will just whoever gets the question right. It's not about the 6 mile, it's just the information. What's that? So, if one of you gets it wrong, the other person has to get it right. Or we'll just read it right. You have to break the tie, you have to get the question right. Okay, right? That's part of that. So you have to get the questions here. First person to get it. Alright. Maybe that's the problem. Okay. Tiebreaker. The Barnett scandal affected presidential elections with its government. Doctors diagnosed patients with zero stroke due to hyperinflation under this government. The end of this government included periods of rule by Kurt von Schleicher and Franz von Papen, and this government's presidents were Friedrich Ebert and Paul von Hindenburg. That is so problem and Sasha. This government enforced the Sanken Kotai system and confined Dutch traders to Jiu-Jitsu. Is correct. Harrison. Sebastian. Swimming champion. Jack.